So, Madison,
Uh-huh.
how does it feel to be newly vaccinated?
Oh, I feel like I'm a brand new person.
Brand new?
Like character development
Was it
in
a
my
little bit
arm.
of hope? Was it,
Oh
did it
yeah.
give you hope?
So much hope. Hope that I will get a second dose appointment not too difficult. It won't be too difficult to get a second dose appointment. But yes, hope that I can go places again.
Oh, amazing. The world is slowly getting back to normal.
Whatever that means.
Yeah. Well, it will be back to some semblance of what life was like before the pandemic, but I feel like the pandemic has changed the world
Yeah, like do I want to be in a
forever.
crowd anyway? Ever
I don't
again?
know. But we're only saying this now because me and Madison both got our first dose of the vaccine
Pfizer
all the
squad,
way in Bakersfield, California.
which for the record is 100 miles north of LA,
Yeah.
aka 2 hours through the grapevine, a treacherous mountain path. Not really, it's just a freeway through the mountains where if you don't have a good car, you might perish, but it's okay.
Me and Madison decided to take this trip.
I pitched the
Actually,
idea
I don't know.
first.
Yeah, I
I
have to like backtrack.
I
We have to
found
start from the
out.
beginning.
Okay, well, I first found out what was happening was so Bakersfield's in a different county. It's in Kern County, which is a predominantly Republican county. Which unfortunately, in predominantly Republican areas, there tend to be a lot more anti-vaxxers. So what had happened was the week prior to this, so like a week before we were going, people were finding that this mass vaccination site set up at CSU Bakersfield, a big state school in Bakersfield. They had been opened up as a mass vaccination site. They could vaccinate up to like 5,000 people a day or whatever. But because so many people in Kern County are Republicans and it's not a huge like populous county. I mean, I don't know the population, but it's definitely a lot smaller than LA. They were having problems booking up, like getting to like filling all their appointment slots because people just didn't want to come. So they basically started opening it up to just anybody who just wanted to come into the county, regardless of where you're from. Like you could get a shot there because they just want to use up the doses and like make put this mass vaccination site to good use, right? So I saw a post about it like at 2 a.m. on Easter Sunday, as in the night before Easter, because an actor from a show I used to watch went and she was like, anybody can go get it. And then I started looking it up on Twitter and Reddit, and it was legit. And a lot of people were saying that they had made the drive, just walked up and got in because you couldn't make an appointment online because we weren't be eligible. So I texted Christienne in the middle of the night and I was like, is this our chance? And we could get it. And then the first thing
I don't know if it was on
the first thing you replied to,
Sunday.
yes, it was Saturday night because it was closed
Saturday
the day.
night.
It was
Yeah.
closed the day that I texted on. It was closed on Easter Sunday. So the people I'd seen that were posting about it had just gotten it on Saturday and were posted about it on Saturday. And they were like, this is open 7 days a week except tomorrow because it's Easter. And so I saw this on Saturday night, but it was already Easter Sunday because it was like 2 a.m. So, and I
Okay,
had
I see, I
texted
see.
you, and then the first thing you said to me back the next morning was Bakersfield with a bunch of question marks. And then I was like, literally, I could not find another place to go get it until April 15th because the other problem is like 16 plus isn't eligible in California until April 15th. And you can't, even though like there are places that have appointment times for April 15th and afterward, you can't sign up for them unless you're eligible like right now. So like you can't pre-schedule anything. So I was like, bro, if we want to get the vaccine like right now, this is like the quickest and easiest way to do it aside from
Yeah.
like trying to chase down pharmacies.
Yeah, well, I remember like during that weekend, our friend Dion had said that her boyfriend, because she wasn't able to do it because she had to do something else and she wasn't sure about the effects of the
Mm-hmm.
vaccine on her, but her boyfriend was able to get the Johnson and Johnson vaccine like through the vaccine finder. So I was like, okay, let me see if I can try that. I didn't try very hard, but then when you were like Bakersfield, I was like, should I get it now? I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I'm not in a rush to get it. Like, it's not like I go out that often or I'm doing anything that would require me to go out for, like, like the safety of myself and others.
Hmm.
But then I kept thinking about it and I was like, I've never been to Bakersfield.
Yeah, like Christian has never been like what farther north than like where you live right now, Malibu.
Mm,
Like,
no. The farthest north I've been to was Solvang.
oh, and then
I went
that's
to
like
Solvang.
and then that's like north, but like towards the coast. Like, no.
Yeah.
You gotta get the real California experience, which is
Yeah,
north
so
and in the middle of California with all the flat farmlands.
yeah, so I thought about it and then you were like, "Oh, we would like drive through the grapevine." I was like, Madison has really been talking about this grapevine because like her parents drives through it on their way from like Sacramento to LA whenever
Yes,
they
it's a
visit you.
staple. It's a Californian staple.
And then you were telling me you were like, "Wow, you had like told your mom about this potential trip to Bakersfield," and your mom was like, "Oh, maybe it's time Christiane will finally see it after living here for 5 years." And then I
Yeah.
was like, "You know what? That's a good point. Like,
And it's not like we
when
had
have I got to
anything
do it?"
else. We didn't have anything else
No.
better to do. So why not? It was just like, why not? And then my car definitely would have been terrible to drive on it, but luckily my grandma has a more powerful car. So my mom was like, just take grandma's car. She doesn't care. And I was like, okay. So then we got to take my grandma's nice car. That was
Oh my gosh.
the
And then
acceleration. Chef's kiss.
your mom was also like, because remember you texted me, your mom was like, "Oh my gosh, maybe Christiane will like get inspired and like find a
Yeah.
place to shoot in Bakersfield." And I was like,
Yeah,
and I was like laughing. I was like, "Okay,
yeah,
maybe. I don't know."
my mom was like, you guys could be working on something in the future, and then Christiane might be like, I just realized the perfect place to film this is Bakersfield. Because you would have realized that from like going there. So that was
Yeah,
part of it. It was just one of those things where it was like, well, we can go and you can see different walks of life.
yeah,
Because I think the other thing too is like, I mean, like, there's like, conservative people everywhere or whatever, and like LA has their fair share, but it's like the contrast between like LA and like literally anywhere between LA and Sacramento is just so wild. And like all the like really religious yeehaw people who apparently don't even want to get vaccinated. So it was like, let's go, take a walk in their
yeah. And
life for a bit.
I like just thinking about it, like there was not really any loss whatsoever in either like
Yeah.
going to Bakersfield because even though there was a chance that we probably like we might not get the vaccine, even though we
Hmm.
drove 2 hours, at least I got to see
Yeah.
more of California. So I was like, I think it's worth it for me, and I think Madison would be down anyway to go, even if we
Yeah.
didn't get the
You
vaccine.
get to see
So
the outside of the LA urban bubble and
yeah,
see what like because I feel like the majority of California like land wise is literally just looks like that. It's just flat farmlands and random like rest stops or like gas stations or food places in the occasional house and me just being like, where do people live to work at these freeway stops? I don't know. Seeing the very bare mountains.
yeah.
Dry from the California heat, passing the signs where Smokey the Bear is like, please don't start a wildfire. I'm begging of you.
Okay. Yeah, so like let's just start from like let's just go through the entire
The
journey then
day.
from like yeah, from like picking me up to getting there.
I was coming from Torrance, and we were
Yeah.
leaving in the morning. So I had to like I was like, okay, maybe we should try cuz the other thing too that I was doing was I was following this huge Reddit thread that somebody had posted about it, and so I kept just seeing like new comments and seeing what people were saying, and pretty much like it was hard to gauge completely because they were closed on that Easter Sunday, and so we are like, okay, let's just go Monday, let's go the next day. So it's not like there were any like the newest success stories were already like a day old, so I was like, it's a new
Yeah.
week, you never know. But I was like, okay, let's just go in the morning and just see. And so I was like,
Yeah. I just
9.
also I just also wanted to add because you sent me the
Yes.
Reddit post. So like while I was waiting for you, I was just skimming through the Reddit post
Mm-hmm.
and going off the information that you had said about the CSU Bakersfield vaccination site. They had like 5,400 vaccinations to give
Yeah, per day.
a day. A
Yeah,
day.
and they were like giving in the hundreds, maybe.
Yeah.
Like I saw somebody say that like they had talked to a staff member on that Saturday when they went, to ask them about it. And like the hard thing about this whole thing was it was very word of mouth. So this is also word of mouth. But somebody claimed that they had talked to a nurse working there on that Saturday, and was like, the nurse was like, yeah, we can like vaccinate like all these thousands of people per day. And like we only are getting like I think they got 500 or something on Saturday, and they were like only 10 of them were actually Bakersfield residents. Like literally, it got to a point where the only like people coming in to get it were like LA residents and like other like Ventura County and like just all the neighboring counties.
Well, I mean anything you can need to like fill those vaccines, because otherwise they're like kind of go to waste, because you need very specific instructions and temperatures to keep them.
Yeah, and it's just like, and like usable. The governor, like he had like just gone to the site, like he like when he was posting about it's April 1st today, so now anybody can get it, like he posted a whole thing about the CSU Bakersfield site specifically, and like still they weren't even getting like people to come out. So it was just like, well, if they can, like we might as well, and we're just gonna have to take the chance, take the leap of faith. That's what everybody on Reddit kept saying. It was like, it was so worth taking the leap of faith. Some people were like, and the drive is so pretty this time of year. I don't think that drive is pretty particularly any time of year, except maybe when there's snow and so it looks interesting. But okay, yeah, that's fine. But so Monday morning I got up really early, and luckily my uncle has like the fast pass thing for the 110 freeway, which is basically what it sounds like, where you pay to put a little machine beep boop bop thing in your dashboard that like lets you go into this special lane so it's faster. So I was like, okay, so I use that to take the freeway to go to Christienne's faster through all the rush hour traffic, because we live pretty far away from each other. And then I got there, and then we got some McDonald's breakfast.
Oh, yeah, because I had asked you, because the night prior, I was, like, telling my boyfriend, I was like, you know what I'm really craving? The pancakes. The hotcakes from McDonald's. And so when I got in the car with Madison, I was like, can we go to McDonald's?
Hell yeah.
And get breakfast?
Yes. And I was like, hash browns, let's do it.
Which I have to say, because I got the deluxe breakfast at McDonald's.
Deluxe!
For like $5.29, and I think it was worth the deal, because it was like 3 hotcakes, sausage, bacon, eggs, a biscuit, and then a hash brown.
It was literally like one of everything.
Yeah, and I was like, well, I think this was, and I was pretty full after eating it, and I was like, wow, this was really good. And then I remember while we were driving, I was like handing you the hash browns, and so all of the food was like on my legs.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my gosh, these hash browns are like literally burning through burning my thighs through my denim.
They were like nuclear temperature, because I was trying to hold it and drive, and I was like, what is this? Like, why is it so hot? I was like, hello?
I was like, I thought it was like my the breakfast platter, and then I like was digging through the bag, and I was like, no, it's these hash browns that are burning my legs right now.
Because they freshly pulled them from whatever nuclear reactor, I guess, that they store them in. So yeah, I was just like, okay. So then we did that. We were eating our breakfast on the go, and then
Madison had her entire Taylor Swift.
Yes, I have my Taylor Roulette playlist, but I was like, in the spirit of the holiday being Fearless Taylor's version is dropping tonight, midnight Eastern. This is already going to come a week later, so it doesn't matter, but everybody go stream Fearless Taylor's version, because it'll be out by the time you hear this. But so, because Fearless is coming out this week that we went, I was like, clearly we should revisit that, and then I just put it on Fearless Platinum. I just started it and I just let it go all the way through. The drive was so long. We made it through we made it to Reputation, which is 4 albums.
Oh, I mean, Madison means the drive like back and forth.
Yes, that was the drive back and forth. Like the drives there, I think we were on Speak Now by the time we got there. And then the drive back, we got through Speak Now and Red and 1989, because I skipped some songs, but still, that is a whole day of driving right there. But so yes, then we were jamming, and then we were on our merry way, and then we were driving through the mountains, taking in the sights, like some hills, the occasional tree.
Oh yes. Oh wait, I'd like to say what my thoughts are on the grapevine.
Yeah, what is your review out of 10 stars? What would you give the grapevine?
I just also want to say that I vlogged this entire experience, so if you want to see the visual
That will be
The
coming.
visuals that we were looking. I have to edit it, but yeah. Anyway, the grapevine. I didn't really know what to expect other
Then it being
than
boring.
like you were just like mountains, but also I feel like you talk about the grapevine more like when it's like cold and during the
Yes.
winter because like whenever you or your parents are coming or going back between Sacramento and LA, it's like more dangerous to drive
Yeah, because it's like
through
if
there.
you go and it snowed recently, the chances of it being closed are pretty high because people are like, oh my god, these California drivers should not be doing this.
Mhm.
But it's
Yeah.
like cool if you like hit that sweet spot where it's like it has snowed, but like the road is clear, then you can like there's literally like snow all around, and that's really cool. But
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was really pretty. I'm not really used to seeing a lot of mountains
mm,
or like hills like when I go on like my road trips. Most of my road trips are in Texas, so it's a lot of
mm,
flat land
mm-hmm.
like farther away from like hill country and stuff like that for all the people who know Texas geography. But when I saw it, I thought it was really pretty. It was a lot of yellows and greens going on the
A lot
mountains.
of me being like, how many fires have burned through here for
Yeah,
it to have
and
like
I thought it was
so
I
little
thought it was
trees.
really beautiful
Oh, that's
and
nice.
I thought it was really beautiful because I was like, oh, okay, I feel like I'm in Cars.
Oh yeah, we played Life is a Highway.
Yeah, we played Life is a Highway, and I was like, wow, look at that. I was also like, I think I was also more so paying attention because there were the lanes like there were separate lanes for like trucks, like 18
Mm-hmm.
wheelers, and like just like regular cars, and so like part of me was also looking at all of the 18 wheelers like turning their hazard lights on, and I was like, oh, what's going on? And then you were like explaining how they had to like keep their speed up because 18 wheelers have all this weight on them and they're going
Yeah.
uphill.
Because
And so
then
I'm
what
like,
happens if
that's
they
pretty
break?
scary.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it, and they have to go like they have to very like slow and steady wins the race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then some of the drivers on that, we encountered several interesting
Oh my
drivers.
gosh, yeah, there were a lot of like bad there I mean, I don't,
It was either
there were a
people who
good
were
amount of bad
It was either people
drivers.
who were like too slow, and I was like, bro, we are on a mountain. We need to maintain the speed. Like, you need to figure it out. Or those people who were like, I don't care that I'm on a mountain. I'm just gonna speed around everybody. Yeehaw. And I was like, bro, you're gonna go flying off this road if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Like, that person, like, riding
And
our butt. I guess I was on the way back.
oh
But
my gosh,
in
yeah.
the
It
Fiat.
was like a Fiat doing that. And then once you like got out, you changed lane and it sped off. I was like the car was like piled with stuff in the back. I was like, can this person even see their back? Probably not because they're so focused on
Yeah.
looking
And
forward.
they were literally like I have not seen this happen to me before, like when I'm driving, but they were so close to me I could not even see the front of the car. I could only see the windshield. Like I was like, how close are you to touching my car right now? Like, oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
That was so much. And then there was that guy in like a pickup truck or whatever who's like trying to play games with like the
Oh
truck
yeah,
truck.
on the way when we were driving back from Bakersfield, there was this like red pickup truck like tailing this 18 wheeler, and I was like, what's going on there? And so the 18 wheeler switched lane, and then the red truck was like swerving
I was
on like the
so
farthest
confused.
most right lane
I
until
was
we
like,
passed him, and I was like, Madison, he looks tired. I think he needs to stop, like he needs to slow down or what. And all of us were all just trying to get out of the way, like farthest away from this guy, because he
yeah.
was still kind of swerving. Even as
God.
like we were farther down, I was looking back and I was like, this man is still swerving. Oh my god.
So weird. Like people are just so weird on the road or irresponsible. I'm just like that is not the place to do it when you're on like a freeway that's like elevated through mountains. Like I would say
Mhm.
probably don't do that there.
Yeah, and also the other thing you were showing me, because I didn't know about like I didn't know about this with trucks and stuff, is that you were like, yeah, so like when they go downhill, there are like these
Oh
kind
yeah,
of
the
like
ramps.
side roads for like if the truck was going too
If
fast,
it was
it was
runaway
like it,
truck, like if their brakes stop
yeah,
working.
yeah, or like there's a side road that has this really steep incline. So if they ever needed to like have a place to slow down, they could just go there and just like
And just
go
wipe
up,
out.
basically
Yeah.
go up a steep hill
And just wipe out a
to
little
like,
bit. Yeah, they call it a
yeah.
runaway truck, and I'm always like, I hope I don't see that. But yeah, I was like, So being a truck driver anywhere else could be like, I could see how that's like a cool job or whatever, but I just would not want to do it through mountains like that. But they're
And
always there,
then
so there's a lot of truck traffic through there.
once we got out of the grapevine, all it was flat.
And
And then
smog.
we reached like, yeah, small. There was like such like it'd be like you're coming from the mountains, right? So there's like you see all of this flat land and you like go down like a decline.
Mm-hmm.
And then like in the distance you like see some buildings and stuff, like small buildings, and then you just see a layer of like gray
Yeah,
smog
it's not
across the
usually
sky.
that bad. I feel like it's not. I don't know if it's just because I don't pay attention to it normally, but it stood out to me that time. I was like, oh.
And I was like, "Oh, we're like not in LA anymore yet."
And yet, that's
Here
just
it all is.
what happens when there's a gazillion people here
Yeah,
driving
and
around.
then saw a bunch of like
And
farmland,
crops.
and then we made it to
Which was
Bakersfield,
also just more farmland and
and I
crops.
was like, there was just like nothing there. It was just a bunch.
It was very. It's like
Honestly,
just a city formed around a freeway
I think
exit.
I would describe Bakersfield as almost kind of like a suburb,
Yeah.
like just a suburb.
It's like one of those where it's like I guess I don't know about Bakersfield, like maybe they have an airport, I don't know. But it's like whenever I pass through Bakersfield and other cities that just are in the middle of California, I'm like, what do you do when you have to fly somewhere? Do you have to like drive like 2 hours to an airport? I don't mind living in the suburbs, but I need to live like near a city too, you know? Where there's like
Yeah.
stuff. Because otherwise, I don't know what I would do. Unless I'm just living my like suburban life where I don't go anywhere, I guess.
I mean, I kind of understand with the housing market in California, like obviously
Yeah.
like the farther away you live from like more populous cities, the cheaper it'll be and the more
Mm-hmm.
space you can have. But like there's literally nothing
Yeah.
in Bakersfield. I don't know what small town vibes is for like people growing up, but like what would you even do on a Friday night in Bakersfield? Like go to a
Probably
gas
like.
station and get like snacks?
Well, I feel like Sacramento
Hang
is
out at the
like.
McDonald's?
That's the thing with Sacramento too, because it's not really like Sacramento's like still kind of a city, but it's still mostly suburban. So that was like the thing there too, where it's like the only things to do in Sacramento are go to the mall, go to the
Go to Walmart.
movies, yeah, or go to the store. Like there isn't like stuff to do, and so I assume with like places like that are smaller than Sacramento, where it's more suburban, that's pretty much the same vibe, where the only thing you really can do is just hang out with people at home, or go see a movie, or go to the mall, or go get food. And that's
Mm.
pretty much about it. Unless you're like really into California history, then I guess you go to a museum.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, and then which I guess it makes sense that there's a CSU Bakersfield, but I just never thought about it before. I bet they have a big ag school, just guessing off the top of my head, but that's cool. But yeah, so it was a big school, but luckily we entered on the correct side, so we didn't have to wander around.
Oh, great job, us.
Yeah, because somebody on Reddit was like, don't use the main address, use this address that'll take you to this side of campus, so bless that person, because that was a lot better. Because that happened to me when I had to get COVID tests last year. I did it at CSU Long Beach, and so they were like, oh, it's in this numbered parking lot, so I put that in maps, and then it totally took me to the wrong side of campus, so I was just like, bro, where am I? Where is the test? And I had to like wander around in my car for a while. So luckily we did not waste any time doing that in Bakersfield. And then there was like other people too who were just there, and they were so friendly, like the workers. Like we drove up and then one of them directed us where to park, and he was all like, you're here, I'm happy.
Oh my gosh. And I noted like a Jesus like bracelet on his hand, and I was like, this man looked like he just founded God in his like later years of his life. And I was like, but he's here getting his vaccination. Well, because it's like you were
Yes.
telling about how it's like, like a Republican place. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna assume that a lot of these people are religious, but like
Mm-hmm.
this guy seemed pretty chill because he looked like he loved God, but also like believed in science, you know?
Yes, we love to see that, because that's the other thing too about basically everything between like Sacramento and here is like it's a lot of Christian country where they're all like, God
Yeah.
will do this, or like I remember passing signs, it was like, pray for rain. Just pray for rain. I get it, like it's California and we've had a drought more than once, but like that's the vibe usually. So I was like, okay, these people are chill, that's cool. And then there's like a good amount of other people there getting vaccinated. But literally, like, when I was talking to my parents, they're so shook because I was like saying, like, honestly, from the time that we like got in line there, like, not including like the parking and the walking up to it, but I feel like from the moment we got in line to getting the shot was like less than 10 minutes or like maybe 10 minutes. Like, it was so fast.
Yeah, we got out, walked, and then they took us. It was like they were taking us by group, like whoever was in line, like of pods of people. And then we were like standing in line to go in, and then there was like a balloon, like a balloon thing, like how when you go to events they had like a bunch of balloons like tied together, and then it said hope, and I was like, oh my god, it's our little shot of hope today.
Yeah. Oh my god. And then when we were walking up to like the entrance, like every time we passed a worker, they were so excited to greet us. I was like,
yeah, they
whoa.
were like, how are you today? Like, are you excited to get your vaccine? And then it made me feel like we were at like Disneyland or something. Like, how cast members have that enthusiasm to just talk to you.
And then that one guy was like, we're gonna take good care of you. And I was just like, this is so wholesome. I appreciate this energy. But I was also like, you could literally berate me and I would still get my shot. Like, I didn't need to be persuaded. I really appreciated the energy, but I was like, I feel like it could be, like, I don't know if it's just that they were excited that people were coming and because so few people for what they could take were coming, or if they felt like they had to be really, really, really hyped for those people, like, in Kern County that are so on the fence about it, or what, which, like, if it's that, I feel like that's really sad that they have to, like, basically act like getting a shot is, like, Disneyland just to get people to do it.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I appreciate it, and I hope you're happy that I'm here. I mean, they were happy. Yeah. They were happy that we were there, but I was like, cool, I will get it.
And then we were in line for like the walk-in, so we had to like, like give our information and stuff, which like before me and Madison went on this trip, we were like, since I'm out of state, I was like, okay, so like, are they gonna be able to accept me? Because I'm not like from California, even though I do live in California, I could like bring like proof of residence to be like, here's my address,
here's my lease or something.
So I like brought like like my insurance card and I made sure I have my ID, and then like brought like a piece of mail, like a cable bill to be like, I pay for this for my my apartment. I just like wanted to make sure, like, in case anything happened, right?
Yeah.
So we both got in line and we gave them like our ID and our insurance, and they were entering all the information in.
Yeah, they had to ask us all this since we were walk-ins. They had to like go through the whole like questionnaire with us of like, give us your phone number, give us your email, give us your we had also had to say like our mom's names. I don't know if that was like a security question or something.
I think it's like, oh yeah, like they specifically just the mom.
Yeah, they specifically just ask you like, oh, what's your mom's name? Like just the first name. Because then when I gave my insurance card, since my mom was like the insurance person, then I had to give them her name again and also like more information about her and stuff. And I was just like, all right. And then they like auto scheduled an appointments for us for like 3 weeks exactly after that. But like basically what everyone's doing who's like coming from out of the county is they're just canceling that one and then rescheduling their second dose like somewhere else. Which I've found, like, as I've been talking to other people from other states being like, oh yeah, I like drove 100 miles to get a vaccine, whatever, and they're like, oh no, you're gonna have to do it again. And I was like, everyone in California has pretty much been like, oh yeah, I just get my second dose wherever. Like, I don't know, it's just been a thing since this beginning here where you can schedule it anywhere. So I don't know if other states are just not doing that or what, but apparently that's the norm on other places, is they expect that you're gonna get it in the same place both times. So I was like, all right, but we will not have to go to Bakersfield again if we don't want to.
Yeah. And then we got in line for our shot.
Oh my god, and then that nurse asked if I was underage.
Yeah.
I was like, how would I have made it this far if I was not an adult?
I
wouldn't have made it past the check-in.
I mean, I will have to say, though, like, the clothes you were wearing could indicate that you were a minor, but, like, also the thing of, like, you are here by yourself. Like, I don't know what they were gonna think.
How did you not look like a minor if I look like a minor?
I don't know.
You were also just wearing a t-shirt. Like a graphic t-shirt. I was wearing a
I know,
graphic
I was
t-shirt.
literally wearing a t-shirt and jeans. You were also wearing like a graphic t-shirt and like shorts.
Yeah. So, I don't get it. Whatever, I guess. Like, also, I would not have even made it past the check-in, nor would they have given me the shot if I was underage because they look at my ID. But whatever, I guess. That's
Anyway.
just the struggle of being youthful.
It's okay. It will.
Yeah,
I don't
I'll
know if
be
it'll catch
50
on.
and I'll look 5 or whatever. Yeah, I've heard it all before.
Okay, so then me and Madison go to our separate stations to get the vaccine, and then they like asked like a couple questions, and then they were like, "Do you give consent to get this vaccine?" And I'm like, "Yes, of course."
I don't even think the nurse asked me before he even said anything. I just rolled up my sleeve. I was like, "Do it."
Oh, okay.
Do it. I forgot his name, but I was like, "Do it, bro."
I unfortunately wasn't thinking, and she was like, "Which arm do you want it in?" I said, "Right," and I was
Why
like,
would
and then
you
after,
say that?
and
She
then
asked
after
you?
I said that, after she said that, I like realized what I like the purpose of that question, and I was like, "Oh my god, my arm! In case anything happened, my arm, my
Yeah.
dominant hand is not gonna be usable to its full potential."
No.
So.
But at least you didn't have anything that rendered it.
Yeah, and then by that time she had already.
Do you have to get in the same arm the second time?
I don't know. But by that point, she had already administered the vaccine. I was like, well, okay, that's it. I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went to the observation space, which was basically the gym at CSU Bakersfield.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, wow, look at that. All the treadmills and the rock climbing wall that was there.
And then the building that, like, where they were giving the shots was, like, the basketball court.
Oh, yeah, uh-huh.
So then that was, like, cool. And then they had, like, this huge, like, they had the monitors, all the monitors in that room, the observation room. They had it on, like, a clock, like a digital clock or whatever. So it's, like...
And they gave us...
With the down to the second. Yeah, they gave us stickers that have the time we got... The time that the 15-minute observation would be done.
So once, like, it was, like, the timers on the screen were, like, down to the second. So we were just, like... You can, if you just kept looking at the timer the whole time, it'd probably feel like an eternity waiting for that 15 minutes to be up. But like, I think you and I were just on our phones, just being like, okay, like 15 minutes will go by.
Mm-hmm.
And then we both didn't feel anything, and so we were like, cool.
The only thing I felt was just my arm was sore, which like my arm is usually sore after the flu shot, so I was like, yeah, that's my body. That's on me. The vaccine caught me slipping there because that's just my arm all the time.
And then we left, and then that guy that we saw at like who was leading us in line.
Oh yeah.
Oh no! Backtrack. We saw a Dr. Fauci cardboard cutout.
I don't know if it was life size because he was only a few inches taller than us.
Yeah, he was like 5'2".
I really wish we'd taken a picture next to it, but then this like really eager mom and her daughter came out right after us, and the mom was like all over it, and I was like, okay, I guess we should
The mom
leave.
was eager, and I saw the daughter who was like trying to walk away because she was so embarrassed.
Yeah, she like did not
join
want
your
to
mom.
Do it. And she was like, she didn't even acknowledge it. She just kept walking, and I was like, what? Why are you so emo? You just got the vaccine.
You got your little dose of hope. Be happy.
You got your Fauci ouchie and you're not even, like, appreciating it. Maybe. Well, if for some reason we go back to Bakersfield, we can do it the second time.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's going to happen.
And then we were walking out, and then the guy that we saw leading us in was like, how was it? And I was like, well, it was good. It was really fast.
Yeah, he was so like, yeah, and I was like, I do not need to be hyped up or convinced. I'm very much just wanting to do this and be done with it.
Like we already got the first vaccine, so like I'm pretty sure we're gonna get the second. You're not gonna turn us away from getting the second one.
It's like the energy. I appreciate you. I see you. I love it, but like you don't have to use it on me. Because I just want the shot. Nothing will discourage me from getting it at this point. So then from there, we went back to my car, and then we took our obligatory selfies with the cards.
Oh, yeah. And then we sent it to our moms. We were like, oh my god, like, we did it.
We did it. And then they were all like, yay. And then we, in true California fashion, went to eat our victory at In-N-Out.
During the lunch rush, which, like, we got our food. They took a while during the lunch rush. But also,
That guy.
we saw some anti-mask people.
We
Like,
saw
people weren't
them.
wearing their
We
masks
saw
there.
anti-masking in action, which I feel like that's just Bakersfield.
Yeah, it was like a dad and his sons walked in,
Yeah, and
and
none
they
of them are
were
wearing masks.
no
And they
mask,
were like
and
waiting in
like
line without masks. It wasn't until they got up to the cash register that the person stopped them.
and was like, "Hey, can you put your mask on?"
And then she didn't even make like the sons put masks on, even though they were both like one looked like he could be like 9 or 10, and the other was like a little younger. But I was like, if they're old enough to go to school, that means I think personally, if your kid is old enough to go to school physically right now, then that means they're able to wear a mask because when they go to school, they have to wear a mask. So
Well,
clearly, your
yeah.
kid can wear a mask, but they didn't
It
care.
makes sense with like 3-year-olds and below because
Yeah,
also
like
like
toddlers.
they're breathing,
Yeah.
like it's harder for them to breathe actually with the mask on. So I'm like, okay, understandable. But beyond that,
But it's like if your kid is already like if your kid goes to school in person, that means that they are wearing masks. Like they know how to wear a mask and they probably own
hmm
masks, so they should be wearing them too in public. But the dad put it on and then the older son had one and put it on, and then the younger son just did not have one. I was like, "All right."
I think the youngest one took notice though, and he was trying to put
Oh yeah,
like
he put
in
his
line
shirt.
before they he put his shirt over his mouth, and I was like, I guess I
I
don't
know. I
know.
was like, "I'm sorry that your parent did not bring a mask for you because I
hmm
feel like that should be done." But then my food was taking forever, and then finally got it. And then there were so many people eating at the tables outside, and they were just even when they were not eating, like we parked right in front of one of them, so we were eating in my car, and then we were just watching this group of people who were all unmasked and had already long finished their food, and they were all just standing there and sitting there, like sitting slash standing. Cause it was like a group of like 5 or 6 people, and they were all just like standing slash sitting around talking without masks. And I was just like, why? Like, okay.
I just am not ready for like indoor dining. I have like outdoor dined a couple of times, but
Mm-hmm.
like I try to be like in and out quick as possible. Like I'm not here to sit around
Yeah.
and just like graze
Yeah, like
as much as I like doing that.
I still haven't eaten at a restaurant, like, and probably in LA, I wouldn't really want to because there's so many people here. Like, if I was in Sacramento and it's like not busy, I would probably be like, okay, yeah, I can maybe do it or wherever. But it's like some the places here, I'm just like, no. And then somewhere
hmm
like when we were gonna go to Bakersfield, I was like telling my mom, I was like, I think we're definitely not gonna do outdoor dining there because
Yeah.
it's less people, but it's a lot more people who don't want to get vaccinated and don't want to wear masks and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, it's a no from me. Sorry.
hmm
So instead, we just fine dined in my car.
Which was fine. It's not like
Yeah, with the
we haven't
AC.
been doing that
It
before.
was with the AC. It was nice listening to more Speak Now.
And then we ate our food. We both got celebratory shakes
We did
to like
to really,
celebrate getting
yeah,
our dose of hope. And then we were back on the road. I think it was about like 1-ish.
probably, yeah. Oh my god,
Yeah,
and then we
and
got caught
then
in weird traffic trying to get back on the free. Oh my god. And I
oh
was like
yeah, that
freaking out a little
too.
bit. I was like, because it was like one of the freeway entrances was closed. And it's like, I guess like Bakersfield is big enough that there's like multiple entrances to the freeway. But like, I'm just so used to like that drive. Like, there's a lot of spots where like, there's a lot of stretches where there's a long way between and freeway entrances and exits. So I was like, I don't want to be messing around here. I just want to get on the freeway.
Yeah. Yeah. Um so we got on the freeway and then made the drive back and then we made a stop
We did.
at Pyramid
That was
Lake
my
and we were like,
first
"Oh,
time stopping in the Grapevine that I know of. It was definitely my first time stopping at Pyramid Lake out of all the drives that I've
yeah, like,
done.
oh, let's go see Pyramid Lake." We drove by it and I was like, "Okay, it looks like a lake."
It's a
Like
lake.
on the way to Bakersfield,
Yeah.
I was
And
like,
then
"It
there's
looks like a lake."
the weird pyramid part.
Yeah, so we were like, "Okay, well they have a visitor center. Let's just like go up there and see the lake real quick." So Madison drives up. The visitor center is
Closed.
blocked
Yeah.
by cones and stuff and it's closed. And so we just saw like a few people and cars just like parked just like right there where it
On the
clearly
dirt.
says no parking.
Yep. Because everybody else was
And
out to
then
take pictures, I guess.
yeah, So we parked, got out, we just looked at the lake for like I think like a solid like 10 minutes.
Not even. I think we were there for 5.
Oh,
We
okay.
were
And
there
then we
less
took
than 10.
pictures.
Yeah, we took
We
some
took pictures,
selfies. We were just like,
and then we
yep.
were like, oh, yeah.
Like, there's the lake. And then we were back in my car. And as we were leaving, there was like a weird TikTok family.
Oh, yeah. It was like these little kids had TikTok shirts, and I was like,
And
we
then
were
the
both like, oh my gosh,
parents.
influencers?
Yeah, and then the parents had like matching shirts. I was like they didn't match with the kids, but they had their own matching shirts. And then the 2 kids were both wearing just TikTok shirts. And they were all getting out to go towards that view of the lake. So I was like, oh, are they about to make a TikTok? With the
Maybe in front of the pyramid. They're like
yeah.
Illuminati lake.
Yeah, so I was just like, okay, I guess that's happening. And then
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of concerned because it was like, oh, like, on the mountains, it kind of takes a bit to like build up speed and maintain it. So I was like, oh, and then and because it's like such a small entrance and exit, like literally where we parked was right next to the freeway entrance. So I was like, oh, I hope this like isn't hard to do. But thanks to my grandma's car being so like surprisingly powerful, it's a Toyota Avalon, like I just got on the freeway and then we went zip right away, and I was like, oh, okay. I was like,
It was a really
this
nice car.
acceleration, okay.
Yeah, and then we kept making the trip along,
And then I think we both got hit with a wave of like
yeah,
exhaustion after the Pyramid Lake thing, because then we were just kind of driving in
yeah,
silence, just
yeah.
we were
And
taking in
then
red at that point in 1989.
we made it back to LA. Madison took me back to my place, and I immediately showered and like crashed on my couch. I was like, I'm so tired.
Yeah.
And then after that, I mean, like, in terms of like side effects or anything about like with the vaccine, like, I literally just had a sore arm. The only thing really was that it was hard for me to fall asleep because anytime I moved my arm,
It
you
hurt.
like felt, like
The pain.
a numbness and a pain to it. And then other than that, the next day was like the slightest bit of soreness, and I was like, oh, I'm okay now.
Yeah, and then when I got back, like, I don't know, it took me like half an hour or so to get back. I also showered and then just like passed out for like 2 hours. And then I was pretty tired for the rest of the night, and I had a little bit of a headache, but I was like, I literally slept for 5 hours the night before and drove us like 200 miles. So I was like, I don't know if it's from the driving or the vaccine or the lack of sleep or both or all of that. Probably some combination of all of it, but yeah, I was fine. But so then it was just my arm. Well, aside from me being so tired and having a slight headache, my arm was just really sore for like the rest of the night. But I took some Tylenol just in case before I went to sleep. And then like on Tuesday, I felt like a little off, like not like sick, but almost like like if a fever came on, I wouldn't have been surprised. But like I never got a fever to my knowledge and stuff, and I was just still tired and my arm was still sore. But then like yesterday and today I've been pretty much normal, so that was the end of that. Which I guess I feel like I mostly hear about people having side effects like with Moderna anyway, but like also I do know people who got Pfizer who were just like, my arm is so sore or this and that.
Oh yeah.
But
well, I've heard side effects also for Johnson and Johnson because you take one dose,
so it's like all at once. Yeah, like 2 of my relatives have gotten Johnson & Johnson, and then one of them, he was just like kind of tired. He would get tired and then just have to go to bed, and then my other one was like in bed all day the next day. So yeah, it really just depends on the person, because like even when my mom got Moderna, like she got it with her coworkers, and then like who are all like the ones she got it with were like the same age as her and stuff, and like my mom was like fine, but then one of her coworkers was like had to take the whole next day off to just sleep until like 3 p.m. So yeah, it really just depends on the person, I think, is what the real moral of the story is here.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good note to end on. If you can, everyone, please get the vaccine if it's safe for you to do so.
Yes. Yeah, take your friends, take your family, take whoever.
Okay, so would you say that this episode has been a headache? Because I don't think so,
No,
really. I think it was
the only headache was just after the whole drive and having the vaccine in the first few hours. I was kind of like, okay, my head hurts a little bit. But since then, not really a headache, because now I'm halfway vaccinated, so.
Yeah, good for you. And if you ever have side effects, just Take a Tylenol.
Yeah, basically, like, if you have any side effects that can all be combated with Tylenol, just don't take it before your shot. You can take it after your shot.
Ibuprofen is a blood thinner, like pain
Mm-hmm.
relief. And they ask you if you have a blood thinner, then obviously you're gonna bleed
Yeah, you know when you get a paper
more.
cut and then it's just, you have the whole red, a sea of red come from your hand?
Yeah, so just don't do that. But okay, everyone, thank you for listening to another episode of Pineapple a Headache.
Get your
That's
shot.
it.
Get
Your
your shot.
shots. And also keep social distancing
Yes.
even if you got your vaccine.
Yes. Do it. And don't lose your vaccine card.
Yo, don't do that. And then don't laminate it in between your first and second
Yeah, don't
dose.
do that
Do
either.
it after.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for listening.
See ya at the next headache.